Why does Iran still hate America? It's a question that has haunted diplomats, soldiers, and presidents for over 70 years. Two nations that once shared oil, science, and strategy, now divided by hatred, lies, and blood. Because this story isn't just political. It's personal. It's ideological. And it's global. From CIA coups and secret revolutions, to nuclear scientists, assassinations, and sanctions. Every chapter has carved deeper scars. And today, as new leaders rise and old enemies return, those wounds are opening again. To understand why Iran still hates America, we have to go back to the moment the friendship died. In the early 1950s, Iran stood at a crossroads. Its leader, Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh, had just done the unthinkable. He nationalized Iran's oil, taking it back from British and American corporations that had profited for decades. For Iranians, this was liberation. For London and Washington, it was rebellion. And in 1953, the CIA and Britain's MI6 struck back. A covert plan to overthrow Mossadegh. Funding protests, spreading propaganda, bribing generals, and toppling a democracy. Mossadegh was removed. The Shah returned. And the West regained its oil. For America, it was a Cold War success. For Iran, it was betrayal. That single moment, 1953, planted a seed of mistrust that has never stopped growing. For the next 25 years, the Shah ruled Iran with American support. He modernized the nation, highways, schools, oil wealth. But he also silenced critics, jailed opponents, and built a secret police that ruled through fear. Many Iranians saw him not as a king, but as America's puppet. By 1979, the streets of Tehran were boiling. The revolution exploded. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, returning from exile, declared the birth of the Islamic Republic of Iran. A new era guided not by the West, but by Islamic law. Khomeini gave America a name it could never forget. The Great Satan. That same year, Iranian students stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. 52 Americans taken hostage. 444 days in captivity. For America, humiliation. For Iran, revenge. The friendship was gone, replaced by ideology, pride, and paranoia. In the 1980s, Iran was isolated, surrounded by enemies, scarred by war. But quietly, it began to chase a new kind of power. Nuclear power. Through Pakistan's AQ Khan network, Iran obtained early centrifuge blueprints. Publicly, it claimed the goal was electricity. Privately, Western intelligence wasn't so sure. By the early 2000s, reports emerged. Secret facilities, enriched uranium, hidden research. Washington accused Tehran of deceit. Tehran accused Washington of hypocrisy. And then, Ayatollah Khamenei issued a fatwa. A religious decree forbidding the use of nuclear weapons. Iran called it moral restraint. The US called it unverifiable. Each side saw lies in the other's truth. And the nuclear shadow kept growing longer. The 2000s brought a new kind of war. A war fought in silence. After the US invasion of Iraq in 2003, Iran saw an opportunity. Its Quds Force armed militias, trained fighters, and spread influence across Baghdad, Beirut, and beyond. Washington called Iran the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism. Tehran called America an occupying empire. Then came 2020. A drone strike in Baghdad killed General Qasem Soleimani, Iran's most powerful military strategist. To the US, it was justice. To Iran, it was assassination. Missiles rained down on US bases in retaliation. No one declared war, but the message was clear. The line had been crossed. And the shadow war had gone public. When bombs failed, America turned to economics. Targeting Iran's oil, banking, and trade, crippling its economy without firing a shot. Prices soared. Inflation exploded. Families struggled to survive. The US called it pressure. Iran called it economic warfare. Inside Iran, frustration grew. Many citizens blamed both governments. The US for strangling them, and their own leaders for corruption and defiance. But still, Tehran refused to bend. Behind every sanction, another centrifuge spun in silence. In 2024, tragedy struck again. Iran's president, Ebrahim Raisi, died in a helicopter crash. The cause? Officially, bad weather. Unofficially, speculation. In the Middle East, coincidence rarely exists. At the same time, Iran's rivalry with Israel, America's closest ally, reignited. Proxy wars flared from Gaza to Syria. Each missile, each drone, risking the spark that could pull Washington and Tehran into open conflict. Yet within Iran's younger generation, something different was stirring. They were connected, curious, skeptical. They grew up in a world where the US was both enemy and influence, where hatred was political, but fascination deeply human. 70 years. From coup to revolution. From sanctions to shadow wars. Every chapter written in distrust. To Iran, America is the empire that stole their democracy. To America, Iran is the regime that defied its order. Both trapped in the same history. Seeing each other not as nations, but as symbols of betrayal. And until that past is faced, neither side can escape its shadow. For 70 years, Iran and America have stared across deserts and oceans, locked in a story too old to forget, too painful to forgive. Because this isn't just a conflict between governments. It's a struggle between memory and power. A superpower that can't stand being defied. And a nation that can't forgive being betrayed. Until both sides look at the past honestly and without pride, history will keep repeating itself. Why does Iran still hate America? The answer isn't simple. But understanding it might be the only way to change the next 70 years.